kind of a quick DE shave, and we'll go over all the product at the end. Once again, as always, don't forget to check us out at www.theshavingcadre.com. Had a really good Zoom call last night. Lasted into, well, I think it was about 3.5, almost 4 hours by the time we got done. But really neat. A plethora of subjects discussed, including something with garden gnomes, but we're not going to get into that one. But also, congratulations to Chris Gearnor on the TSC forum for winning the latest bingo game and becoming the newest bingo master. Now, there's a backstory there, because back at the old place, 3 of us, Spider, the monkey, were known to do some pretty devious things as far as bingo games. There wasn't a lot of rules. It was kind of the wild west. Well, come forward to the TSC, and we wanted to make, the game a little bit easier. So we built in certain things, but there were quite a few loopholes in it. And up until then, I'm a Tabor at the old site, or now the monkey here at the TSC, was known to be the most fiendishly devilish bingo master of them all, which is somewhat ironic because he's a pastor. Then comes along a young, good-looking, strapping young man by the name of Chris, or better known on the forum as Gearnor. The level of anxiety, the level of difficulty went to a whole new level. And poor Gear found himself as the reigning king of people wanting to pitchfork him for what he did in the bingo game. So now, come full circle, it's now the holiday season, and Gear is back. Now, by reading what he says, looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward game, and he promises not to be as fiendish as he was before. However, it should be noted that during this holiday season, Krampus, we all know, would lead young children into an unsuspecting state of well-being and then sock it to him. So, bingo players beware. Sign-ups are going on right now for TSC members with 25 posts or better, and the game, I believe, starts the 29th for the first Monday after Thanksgiving. So, Mr. Gearnor will ring in the holidays with a lovely, easy bingo game, or so we hope. What else is going on? Oh, the Rudolph gift exchange is in full swing. It's getting close to the, not super close, but fairly close to the deadline to get your packages out. I think you'll have to ask Rudolph, but I think it's December 9th or 10th is the absolute cutoff. And it may be quite earlier than that, so don't quote me on that. Lots of people taking part in it. So it should be a real fun time on Christmas morning. This soap I'm using is just perfect. I mean, it's just lathers reasonably easy. I find that it lathers much easier with a synthetic now that I've noticed. So it's pretty nice. And we'll give you that. And if you don't recognize the razor I'm using, it is an unobtainium. This razor, I'll give you a couple of hints. The razor is not made anymore. And it went through, unfortunately, it was one of the best razors. It was my first large purchase DE razor, so that gives you some idea of how old it is. But unfortunately, the creator had some major issues, and I don't even know if the heads are still being made. But it's a wonderful razor. I'd call it medium aggressive. It's got a pretty good blade gap. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but very heavy, solid stainless steel. And this razor was the first razor that was reasonably priced for a solid stainless steel razor. I think I paid 80 bucks for it back then. So I guess with inflation, well, we won't even go into inflation, but probably about 130, 140 by today's numbers. But still a wonderful, wonderful razor. I don't use this razor as much as I should. But I think like most people, those of us that have tons of DEs, tons of SEs, tons of straight razors, try to put the razors in some sort of rotation, but I think what ends up happening is we get used to being able to just grab for the quickest one, especially during the work week. A little bit of cleanup here. There we go. Okay, so what are we using today? Well, first off, to get everything finished off, we're using the Proraso brand of alum, Proraso alum. Pretty good. A lot of people ask why you use alum. Well, potassium alumate acts as a natural aftershave. It tightens, and it's a great antiseptic. Good for the face, but you don't want to leave it on too long. Just rinse it off, and nice. I would definitely call this a BBS shave, maybe even a little bit, maybe even DS BBS. So what did we use today? Before the razor, we used a Weber Classic with the polished handle. Wonderful razor. It's too bad that they don't make them anymore. I was lucky, and the problem I was talking about is that these came, some of the top caps, the way they screwed in, the machining was wrong, and you'd get a wavy blade. So those of you that look at some of the old archives notice that it was the wavy blade. So a lot of people sold them off, but they're still, the handle and everything else is a wonderful, wonderful handle. For the soap, and you saw how great it lathered and everything else. Some of you may or may not be surprised, depending on your opinion, but that's right, soapy goodness with lanolin, and that is Mitchell's Wool Fat. Great, lovely soap. If you're having trouble lathering Mitchell's, a word to the wise, just grate it up. take an old grater or buy a grater. Don't use your wife's grater because eventually you're going to get in a lot of trouble. But just find a grater, grate it up, press it back into the ceramic jar, and it'll lather great. For the brush, Sorrentino Brushworks, the Corleone with a gray synthetic tuxedo, I believe. And for the aftershave today, well, can't forget Thayer's. Don't forget Thayer's. Nurse Dave, myself, Major Rich, the super professional shavers of the TSC, Thayer's Lavender. And yes, Dave, I am going to get Thayer's Lemon eventually. Just another layer of protection before all the other goodness. For the aftershave today, we are going to be using Nivea 2-in-1. Disclaimer, Nivea 2-in-1 and pa-pow, or pa-pa, or however he does it, copyright Nurse Dave 2021. Used with permission from his production crew. He may not know it, but his production crew. Nice thing about the Nivea, 5 or 6 drops. It's got a wonderful smell, and I was looking around the den to see what this stuff smelled like as far as a fragrance, and I found it. And basically, it's one of my favorites that I don't use very often, but it is Bleu de Chanel. It's almost exact, and it goes very, very well. So we'll be using that today. No talc today, because we're going to be doing some running around. And unfortunately, the top on this broke, so it doesn't work as good as it did. You'd think for the type of money you spend on this stuff, it would. Okay, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the shave. Wow, 12 minutes speed shave today. Once again, don't forget to check us out at www.theshavingcadre.com. And I spoke of my compadres, the professional shaving trio. Check right up here. You're going to see Nurse Dave's channel and Rich's channel. And then right down here, you're going to see a barber pole with a cowboy hat on it. If you like what you're seeing, you want to see more, just subscribe. Then over on the other page, ring the bell. You'll be notified each and every time one of my videos comes out, which is usually Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or a combination of those. So thank you for joining us at Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home. I certainly appreciate it. And you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and take care.